Let's get it. Subscribe to the channel. Yeah, settle down, settle down, settle down, settle down, settle down, settle down. Let me do this. Let me do this. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I go by the name of GODGOTHAM Game and welcome back to the channel. The second channel.
Alright, y'all, look at the thumbnail. Y'all see the title. And today we got another one for Chuck, man. As I was saying, I was scrolling down my on my little YouTube thing on my phone, and every time this one right here keep popping up. This one, right? What it is Chuck. It's ranking Dragon Ball Z villains from weakest to strongest. So okay, I'm here for this one. Yeah, man. So I'm a little interested in seeing what he gonna put as the strongest. Only thing I know for sure, I ain't gonna say right now, but you already know. I'm gonna get to it later. But anyway, how y'all day been? Y'all been doing good? I've been doing great. So you already know. Link is gonna be down in the description below. Like, comment, subscribe. For the do, man. You know my slogan. Know my slogan. Know my slogan. The greatest and the worst. I am. God, I got to give video once you go. Before we get started, all I know is Garlic Jr. got to be up like the top. Garlic Jr. got to be up to like the top 10. No, top 5. I mean, Garlic Jr. is got to be top 5, bro. It's Garlic Jr. I'm gonna say Garlic Jr. This is what I'm predicting. Like, I know Garlic Jr. got to be like top 5, bro. Garlic Jr. and we already know Frieza #1. Okay, Garlic Jr. and I'm gonna go with Android 13. Let's get it though.
For several decades, the Dragon Ball franchise has remained highly popular due to its iconic characters, badass transformations, battle themes, and for the villainous threats that Goku and his friends have had to face off against, and in some cases, nearly lose to due to their overwhelming power. The original Dragon Ball Z anime had wide success with the introduction to Goku's Saiyan heritage and iconic rival Vegeta, his ascendance into becoming a legendary Super Saiyan against the Space Emperor Frieza, to fighting a petri dish composed of his enemies and allies, Cell, and finally, unlocking more forms and techniques in hopes of defeating the god-killing bubblegum known as Majin Buu. And one of the questions that is commonly brought up regarding the movie villains is,
oh, that Android 13, right? I know he got to be up there. Like I said, Android 13 got to be up there, boy. This dude nasty, bro. This dude is nasty. This dude nasty, especially with that $30 haircut. Let's go.
Which one is the most powerful, or which one is the greatest threat? Like the majority of the—
well, yeah, I say Garlic Jr. is a great threat, bro. Garlic Jr. is a definitely is a great threat. Let's go.
Fandom, I at one point believed that, well, duh, if character B comes after character A, then logically the B character should be more powerful, right? And although that is the case for some of the movie villains, it is not the case for all of them, as I will—
and I don't like when they made Broly as like a villain, bro. Like, he's saying, bro, he don't supposed to be me. I feel like he don't supposed to be no villain, but I guess some sayings are, you know, like that. But I did like how he look on there, but you know, I didn't like that they made him as a, try to put him as like a villain. I didn't like that though, but let's go.
We'll try to prove in this video. So to provide a composite overview, I
I forgot about Cooler.
Decided to overly analyze the movies, the guidebooks, movie pamphlets, and the movie manga books to try and get to the bottom of this widely controversial topic. Anyways, without further ado—
is it like a top 10 or something?
Let's go ahead and dive right in. First off, I like to make it clear that these movies take place in a different dimension, and although some can fit into the main storyline without trouble, like movie 9, BoJack Unbound, or movie 13, The Wrath of the Dragon, for the most part, they do not inherently have to make sense within the main timeline. To further back this up, when asked regarding his stance on the movies, Akira Toriyama said that he perceived them as being basically side stories that take place in another dimension from the main story. Some movies—
pretty much like fillers, right?
These are directly referenced within other movies, but this doesn't inherently mean that all of them have to be connected, which I'll point examples to as we get further into the video. Let's begin with the second movie villain, being Dr. Wheelo from The World's Strongest, who appeared shortly after the battle with the Saiyans, given that Goku—
dang, I forgot about him—
knows not only the Spirit Bomb, but also the Kaioken technique. As the title infers, Dr. Wheelo wanted to obtain the body of the strongest person in the world, and this set his sights on Goku and his friends. His Bio Warriors proved to be a worthwhile challenge as they managed to overwhelm Piccolo and put him under mind control, and their power forced Goku to use Kaioken against him. Once Piccolo was freed, however, the Z-Fighters set their sights on the Brain Mech, who was no longer a man. With a crushingly high power level of 39,000,
I ain't gonna lie, I used to play with the robot guy. Yeah, I used to play with him on that Dragon Ball Z. On Dragon Ball Z, what is on? It was on PS2. I used to play with him too. It was him and Garlic Jr.
Dr. Wheeler was able to endure a triple Kamehameha from Goku, Krillin, and Master Roshi.
Then he ate that.
Who during this point was able to one-shot 4 Cybermen-esque bots earlier in the movie with power levels of 1,000. Once again proving that basically these movie characters are more cracked in some ways than the ones from the main timeline. Like in his battle against Vegeta, Goku puts all of his power into a beam clash with Dr. Wheelo, who managed to overpower his Kaioken x3 Kamehameha, until Goku amped his power by 4 times, sending the deranged Doctor into space. At this point, Dr. Wheelo abandoned his goal of obtaining Goku's body, powered up even further, and stated that he was gonna blow up the entire planet. Goku then responded by firing up a Genki Dama, which was able to blow away Dr. Wheelo for good. Next up is the competitive placement between Movie 1's
Come on, Garlic Jr. ain't up there. Garlic Jr. So this is not like a top 10 thing, bro. I thought it was gonna be like a top 10. Garlic Jr. got to be up there, man. Garlic Jr. ain't weak, man.
Garlic Jr.
Wait, I think I gotta hit it.
The original Goku Black, the Saiyan Warrior Turles. Now please let me explain my reasoning as to why these are actually kinda close. If we're analyzing Garlic Jr.
Garlic Jr. is a threat, bro. Especially he got his trump card when he on the thin line, bro. He gonna open that little portal that I can't. I hate that, but I love it. Like he gonna suck everybody in, bro.
Off of the Dead Zone movie where he got owned by pre-Saiyan Saga characters, well then duh, you can argue that he is the weakest movie villain. But he actually came back much more powerful than ever before in a filler arc.
Yeah, like I said, it's a filler. I already know a filler. I already know, bro.
That took place several months after the Frieza saga.
But this right here was a good one, bro. Like, Garlic Jr. is that guy, bro. Come on.
Saga and Movie 1's events are directly mentioned.
They need to bring him back again, bro. Oh, they need to bring Garlic Jr. back again, bro.
Within the first movie, Garlic Jr. wanted to basically be at the top of the world by dethroning Kami's position, and was pretty much the only villain that was actually able to wish for immortality, using the Earth's Dragon Balls, which unfortunately did not turn out too well for him. His minions were easily handled by Goku and Piccolo, even after their speed and power increased after taking some demonic steroids, which by the way will be very important later on. After Garlic Jr. dominates Kami, Goku and Piccolo are forced to work together against him after he transforms into his gigantic state.
I ain't gonna hold you, bro. That's the part that freaked me out when I saw them up, bro. I'm like, bro, ain't no way they can beat this guy. Like, how Piccolo and Goku supposed to beat him? This nigga is savage.
They do seem to beat him once they take their weights off, but due to his eternal life, Garlic Jr. dusted himself off and prepared to launch his devastatingly overpowered black hole attack that sucks up everything.
Yeah, that's his trump card. That thing is OP, bro, to me, man. Like, I hate it, but I love it.
The Dead Zone.
I hate that, but I love it, bro.
It's so dark that light cannot penetrate it and numbs one body and mind. This attack overwhelms the gang as they
but it leave him open, like but it leave him like open though for attack.
Struggle to hold on for their life. But wouldn't you know, Gohan's rage and rising power allowed him to walk around, negating the effects of the Dead Zone's pull. With a marginally powerful energy attack, Gohan was able to push Garlic Jr. into the Dead Zone, trapping him there for years until the Makio planet, or Makio star, came into proximity.
Oh boy, I came back, bro. Come on, man. Hey, yo, Garlic is that guy, bro. Garlic Jr. is that guy.
Proximity with the Earth, which as revealed in the filler in the Dragon Box guidebook, increased Garlic's power by several tens to dozens of times, which
and I play with Garlic Jr. I be playing with Garlic Jr. on is that Dragon Ball? What Dragon Ball Z game that was? I playing with Garlic Jr. like crazy, I believe. What's he what though? I can't even remember, bro.
Allowed him to escape his own prison and challenge the Earth's heroes once more in Goku's absence. In his quest, Garlic Jr. was joined
and he got some cool little henchmen, I ain't gonna hold you.
By 4 demonic monarchs, which were actually very powerful in their own right, as even prior to their power-ups, they managed to heavily damage Krillin, who during this point would easily be able to clap most of the Ginyu Force. As the Makio star further approaches Earth, 2 of the formerly defeated kings rise up and state that their power increased by several times, likely dozens of times as stated in an earlier episode, and
So boss. That's what he said, bro. Yo, man, Garlic Jr. is my favorite villain, bro. I can't help it, bro. Garlic Jr. is that guy to me, bro. Like, come on. Oh, Garlic Jr., bro. I miss that little villain, bro.
and on top of that, they transformed into their buffed up states. If these guys have a power level of bare minimum, say 30,000, which was the power level that Vegeta had in his battle against Raccoon, and their power got amplified by 30 to 96 times, dozens of times, if not more, they would be within the threshold of at least second and third form Frieza, which is not very crazy to think about, because this Gohan not only received numerous Zenkais and trained after fighting Frieza, but he had to become enraged to kill the minions, and at one point, one of the henchmen literally
he caught he did caught Krillin Destructo there, right?
caught one of Krillin's Destructo discs without injury.
Yeah, I'm saying that, bro. That's supposed to be instant. Like, God, that one, like, when I see someone catch that, bro, like, come on, man. They do caught a Destructo disc. The thing slashed you to pieces, bro.
Which, if you recall, second form Frieza was his pants at.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and this Joker caught it, like, man, get that frisbee out of him.
Enough about the minions, though. Once again, as a last resort, Garlic Jr. unleashes his Dead Zone.
Boy, like I said, bro, I hate that his little trump card, Dead Zone, bro. I hate it, but I love it, bro.
Which was countered by Gohan charging up even more energy and destroying the Maquia world, crippling Garlic Jr.'s control over the Dead Zone and leaving him trapped there forever. Although Garlic Jr. was powerful, Piccolo and Gohan would have been able to defeat him much easier if Piccolo's power wasn't nerfed nearly the whole battle, due to Kami's soul being hindered in his quest to purify the Earth's inhabitants from the mist, and if Garlic Jr. didn't have his immortality, since Piccolo and Gohan overwhelmed him numerous times.
Krillin wasn't really doing nothing, bro. Pretty much just a punching bag.
Regardless, Garlic Jr. at his best is easily a threat that the lower forms of Frieza would have to fear, and his minions were easily beyond the Ginyu Force as well.
Bro, Garlic Jr. got to be out. Garlic Jr. is a high threat to me, bro. Well, you know, let's continue though, bro. Well, I like it though. Who next?
Alrighty, now let's move on to Turles, the rogue Saiyan who planned to use the Earth to grow the marvelous Tree of Might. A divine tree that sucks the life force of a planet to cultivate a fruit so precious that only Kamis are allowed to eat them. Although a movie pamphlet states that Turles' power level was a measly 19,000, he was likely far stronger, as he was able to react to an angered Goku's attacks, whose power level was at least 30,000. And he was also able to dominate Piccolo and withstand his special beam cannon at point blank. His squadron wasn't too shabby either, although they failed to defeat Goku in a 1-on-5 situation, they were able to dominate Krillin and the rest of the Z fighters. However, given that Turles felt the need to take a bite of the fruit to contend with Kakarot, this infers that his base is well below 30,000 and at minimum makes him weaker than Dr. Wheelo. But the thing that keeps Turles from the very bottom are the crazy power boosts that he obtained from the Tree of Might. From just one bite, he obtained at least a 10 times boost, since even
Now imagine he keep eating that and eating it though.
Kaioken times 10 Goku was unable to keep up with him, let alone damage him. After nearly cementing his victory over the Earth and countering a weak-ass Spirit Bomb, Turles consumes majority of another fruit, which is very important because if just one bite gave him a 10 times boost, it is likely that eating more of it would grant him an even bigger boost and allow him to surpass Garlic's power. But to reduce as much headcanon as possible, we'll say that he at least had a power level of over 3 million during this point, which would allow him to overcome Frieza's lower forms. Unfortunately for Turles, the plot had to guarantee that Goku won in some way.
The plot was stronger.
So he obtains the energy from the tree itself and launches a Spirit Bomb so powerful that destroys Turles along with the tree, restoring the Earth's greenery and well-being in the end.
The power of plot, bro.
Overall, Turles was a very imposing threat with a brutal fighting style, but why is he ranked alongside Garlic Jr.? Going by the aforementioned multipliers,
Garlic Jr. was that guy, man.
Turles and Garlic Jr. are quite comparable at their best, with Turles likely having a raw power and speed advantage due to Garlic's giant form, but with Garlic Jr. having a slight edge due to his immortality.
Exactly.
You can even argue that Garlic Jr. is massively above many of the other villains on this list.
He is. He really is, bro. I'm trying to tell you, bro. Gotti Jr. is that guy. Bro, Gotti Jr. ain't no one to mess with, bro. There you go.
Given that in the Daizenshu, his attack, the dead zone, is called a hyper or super space, which, going by some definitions, implies that this black hole is a 4D space and would automatically place Garlic Jr. in the universal ranges of power. And given that he broke out of the dead zone through his own power,
exactly,
would clearly bump up his placement. But I think that if I were to gauge him solely through his showings and not including the dead zone, he would place around here. However, even if we were to use the hyperspace stuff, it wouldn't really place him at the top, given that other characters either have better feats or statements, but I can certainly see Garlic Jr. in a higher spot than this, depending on the arguments. Regardless, both Turles and Garlic Jr. should be able to rival the lower forms of Frieza, and due to his immortality, I'd give Garlic Jr. the slight edge over Turles, but I can see them being interchangeable.
Yeah, I can somewhat agree on that.
Next on the list is the Galactic Conqueror Lord Slug, the evil Super Namekian
Lord Slug
that made a career out of subjugating planets and was stated as being such a large threat that Frieza and not even a Super Saiyan could stand up to him. Before landing on Earth, Slug's ship comes in such a close proximity to the Earth that Goku and Krillin charge a Kamehameha in attempts of steering it off course, which fails and knocks him out. After establishing a dominion over the populace, Slug orders his henchmen to find the Dragon Balls in order to wish for his youth when he was at his strongest. Once Slug shows up to fight,
I ain't gonna lie, Lord Slug had some nice little drip, bro. You can't tell me that, bro. Lord Slug had a nice little drip on him.
Goku states that his energy feels different from anyone he had ever faced before, which would include Turles and Frieza. Whether Goku is referring to a full power Frieza is unknown, but it is also possible that Goku isn't necessarily referring to power, given that Lord Slug is regarded as being more vile and evil than even King Piccolo. The restored Slug then manages to pimp slap Goku so hard to the point that he doesn't even acknowledge the Kaioken as being a plausible win option at that moment, as he says that even though he had been training, that Slug was just on a whole other level and he wanted to use the Spirit Bomb right away, inferring that the Kaioken wouldn't have had an effect. Given the crazy situation, Goku unleashes his anger and tenacity and transforms into the Pseudo Super Saiyan, a cryptic form that has been coined as the false Super Saiyan state, which allowed Goku to overwhelm and shock Slug as he broke his hand and forced him to unleash his true power by becoming gigantic. Now this is where it gets spicy. Once Goku thrashes Slug's ass around, King Kai is surprised and theorizes if that form represents the legendary power of a Super Saiyan, implying that he had never seen this form before, and that Goku managed to defeat Frieza without using Super Saiyan. Once Slug becomes very big, King Kai tells Goku that he believes that due to Slug's Super Namekian status, that Frieza and perhaps even a Super Saiyan cannot defeat him. Then, Goku offers a valiant effort and likely receives a Zenkai boost due to enduring a point-blank attack from this gigantic Slug, and staggering him with his energy attacks, despite the fact that he got pretty much like slapped by Slug in his base state earlier. It seemed that
sometimes I think like King Piccolo also do all this stuff Lord Slug got too, man.
Slug had won over the Earth if it wasn't for the Namekians finding human whistling irritating and therefore being a weakness. After Slug was hindered by Gohan's annoying ass song, Piccolo manages to donate his power to Goku, amping him so much that he was able to blast through Slug with a Kaioken times 100 as revealed in the 1991 Weekly Jump issue, which would make sense given that even the power of a pseudo Super Saiyan was clearly not enough to defeat him. Hell, even after Slug got a hole punch through him, he chased Goku into the heavens, where he was stunned by base Goku's power, and as a result, bought Goku enough time to charge a Spirit Bomb using the sun, which ended the Leviathan's assault once and for all. Granted, the Spirit Bomb that was used against his heavily damaged Slug was much smaller than the one that was used against Frieza, but going by King Kai's belief that neither the Space Emperor or Goku's Super Saiyan state could seal the deal, and since Goku didn't even consider the Kaioken and jumped straight to the Spirit Bomb as a solution, I think it is very likely that Lord Slug is easily powerful enough to surpass, if not at least rival, full power Super Saiyan Goku and Frieza from the Namek arc. In fact, the aforementioned 1991 Weekly Jump issue also mentions that Slug may very well surpass Frieza as well. You may have already guessed it, but yeah, next up on the list is Frieza's cooler-looking brother. Cooler, who came...
Cooler, I remember I saw Cooler, man. I was like, man, I was thinking like Cooler gonna be like a big, I was like he gonna be a big threat, but man, Cooler, man, come on, Cooler, bro. I was a little disappointed.
Came to the Earth to get revenge for Frieza's demise against Goku. This movie also takes place after Goku defeated Frieza and has been training his ass off since then, which is very well portrayed in this film due to Cooler's praise for the Earthling Saiyan before he even showcases his true power. In attempts to cripple Goku's spirits, Cooler arrived with his armored squadron and attempted to kill Gohan with a powerful beam, which Goku managed to block with his body, and even while being heavily damaged, he managed to retaliate with his own powerful attack. Cooler is so impressed by this showing that just from that, he finds it believable that Goku defeated his brother. It is even further implied by Cooler that base Goku during this movie was powerful enough to defeat, if not at least contend with Frieza's final form, due to not only the aforementioned praise, but when Goku recovers from his injury after being given a sensu bean, Cooler says that he was curious about Goku's
hate that punch like he ain't napping. God.
Super Saiyan power.
Okay, I see you, Kakarot.
And status. Even with this confidence, Cooler was overwhelmed by base Goku in their underwater battle, and once they surfaced, he once again states that Goku was indeed powerful enough to defeat his brother, which forced him into unleashing his final form, a state beyond what Frieza was
that was hard to me, I ain't gonna hold you.
Capable of. This badass transformation allowed this previously overwhelmed Cooler to dominate Goku.
I remember that part. That nigga, bro, what? Like, shut up, boy.
Point that the Kaioken was
the same thing how Piccolo had did when he was going on when he was mind control over old buddy.
Joke to him, and he even surfed through a Kaioken Kamehameha without injury. However, once Goku transforms into a Super Saiyan, which he needed a trigger for, Cooler infers that that is how Goku was able to defeat his brother. But given the numerous appraisals that Cooler gives base Goku, I think it is more likely that this base Goku at least could have given Final Form Frieza a run for his money. Sure, Cooler could have been demeaning his brother's power, given his negative sentiment towards him, but he realized that to defeat Goku, he needed to unleash a greater transformation and try to avoid being defeated in the same way, inferring that his base at full power wouldn't have been enough. Cooler was clearly outmatched by Super Saiyan Goku, but his gigantic supernova made Goku struggle and forced him to put a great amount of effort into blasting it back at him. And in combination with his own attack and Goku's Kamehameha, Cooler was mostly vaporized once he met the heat of the sun. But wouldn't you know, this would not end up killing Cooler, at least fully. God damn, the Frieza family really is hard to kill.
They sure is, bro. But then he turned. Let's go.
To be honest, I was at a crossroad regarding Lord Slug and Cooler because although the base Goku that fought Cooler was implied to be Final Form Frieza tier, the Goku that fought Slug unleashed a Kaioken multiplier twice that of Super Saiyan, and even then, a Spirit Bomb was needed to put down the Green Titan. Basically, you have a Goku with a weaker base form, but greater multipliers, and on the other hand, you have a Goku with a stronger base form, but with lower multipliers. Both of these Gokus also got Zenkais in their respective battles, so although I find Cooler more likely to be superior, I think a case can be made for Slug being comparable due to the narrative implication that Frieza, and not even a Super Saiyan, could defeat him. Since both of these threats are narratively superior to Frieza, you can argue that they are interchangeable at worst. The next big threat that the Z Fighters were encounter were not the androids, but mechanized tools of destruction that attempted to subjugate the peaceful Namekians on planet Namek, which was restored thanks to Shenron. Once Goku and the gang arrived to Namek, they were met with a robotic army led by none other than the teal, clean as metallic finish, drip-having Meta Cooler.
I was gonna say, what is it, Cleaner Cooler? But yeah, Cooler.
Who managed to barely survive his battle with Goku, and combined with the Big Gate Star in order to facilitate his galactic conquest. And fun fact,
we know the Frieza race, they don't give up, bro. I can get them props right down there.
Big Gate Star is referenced in guidebooks as having an infinite power engine. More on that later. At first, Goku is confident enough to duke it out against Metacooler in base and even clashes with him several times, until he deems it necessary to amplify his power with the Crimson Kaioken. But despite Goku's power gain from the last movie, Cooler just no-sells his strikes with confidence. By far, one of the best speed feats in all of Dragon Ball, including the video games, is Metacooler being able to move, track, and attack Goku in the middle of instant transmission. Yeah, instant transmission is teleportation, but Cooler and Goku are actively able to fight in the middle of these movements, so it would count as a reaction and combat speed feat. We will also come back to this speed feat later on. As Goku finds his attacks and techniques futile, he unleashes his Golden Glow of Super Saiyan and forces Metacooler to try harder, which was bad news for Goku, as Cooler eventually dominates him, accurately blocks and dodges majority of his attacks, and attempts to choke his ass out until Vegeta comes to the rescue and
I remember that right now.
Admits that he is not there to help Kakarot. What a tsundere. Even after Super Saiyan Vegeta comes to help out, Metacooler brushes off their attacks, hits Vegeta in the and even manages to heavily wound them to the point that Goku says that the only way they can beat him is by combining their maximum power and blast him to smithereens before he can regenerate, which heavily exhausts them. I think it is very likely that Vegeta and Goku obtained a Zenkai after their initial battle with Cooler, because as he was sapping their energy to fuel the Big 8 star, the computer freaked out and determined that Goku had too much energy to give and was basically overloading the systems, causing it to explode. Which in turn allows Goku determined that Goku had too much energy to give and was basically overloading the systems, causing it to explode.
Overheat.
Which in turn allows Goku to break free and destroy Cooler's original body with a small ki blast once and for all, destroying the Big 8 star's clutch on Namek in the process. As I mentioned earlier, it is said in the guidebooks that the Big 8 star had an infinite power engine, and that it was overloaded by Goku's infinite, boundless power. Meaning that Goku got a massive amp and in effect can be argued to have infinite 3D power. Although granted, one can argue that it is a hyperbole.
Imagine if they had some sensu beans with it. They would just keep taking the sensu beans and stuff. But yeah, it didn't me though.
Regardless, if the Big 8 star can make hundreds if not up to billions of Metacoolers as implied by the Japanese title of the movie, it is absolutely insane that Goku's power was able to overload such a powerful engine. After Dr. Gero was killed off by Android 17 the same way he was killed in the mainline series, his computer used his hatred for Goku to fuel the creation of a new mechanical terror trio.
With Android 13, right?
These were known as Androids 13,
with that $30 haircut,
14, and 15. Although the android's full power eventually pushes Goku and the others to transform into Super Saiyans to give the audience a light show. Androids 14 and 15 still found it pretty difficult to put down base Trunks and base Vegeta, and got pretty much fodderized after they traded final blows, with Trunks and Vegeta reverting back to their base forms in exhaustion, but still having enough power to fight later on. Android 13 is clearly the strongest of the three, not only due to him being the established leader, but
and he had a nice drip too, bro, with that $30 haircut.
Also since he pushed base Goku to be more serious against him than he was against the other two androids. After his comrades were defeated, Android 13 is happy, and the Z fighters basically stood around like idiots.
Me, that's like a Saiyan hell.
And let Android 13 multiply his power greatly by fusing with the remains of the two androids and becoming a blue-skinned, red-haired terror, which proved to be quite a dangerous opponent. Super Saiyan Vegeta, Trunks, Goku, and even the Super Namekian Piccolo were unable to overwhelm the beast or even make him budge.
I promise you, man. For real.
With Super Android 13 no-selling their punches and kicks and casually batting them around. He also did one of the worst things that you can do.
Oh, ooh, wait a minute. Right there. Wait, now we don't know for sure what he would aim. He could have hit him like right there on the leg, but not right there, not right there, not technically. Yeah, he ain't that, bro. Yeah, he ain't that right now.
In a fight and decided to
it made that dude Saint, oh god,
punch Goku in the Dragon Balls and then basically beat the hell out of him. Oh. This beatdown then forced Goku to resort to his ultimate attack, a large spirit bomb, which he absorbed into himself and got really, really powerful. By using the energy from the earth, Goku accumulated so much energy that just by being near him, Super Android 13's body dissolved, and with an angry ass punch,
Before we even try to try to let him touch or punch on him,
Goku managed to pierce through his body and vaporized him, putting an end to Dr. Gero's schemes. Although Super Android 13 is implied to be a much stronger villain than Metacooler due to him appearing afterwards and fighting more Super Saiyan tier fighters,
I feel like he could have been a good villain. I mean, not good villain, but I feel like he could have been like on the good side too, man. Dang.
I'd still argue that Metacooler is more impressive given that he has a much better speed feat and is a much better fighter given that in a one-on-one fight, he blocked Goku's attacks pretty cleanly, while Super Android 13, although he didn't really need to block it,
He ate him.
let a lot of attacks hit him head on. Okay, so this is where it gets complicated because according to the guidebooks, the Z fighters that fought Android 13 had infinite power, and like I mentioned earlier, the Big Gate Star's engine was overloaded by Goku's infinite boundless power. Again, you can think of the statements as being hyperboles and like wank basically.
Keeping him in an albino. Bro, I was just thinking like, oh, the disrespect.
But even if we take them at face value and say that both Android 13 and Cooler had infinite power, Cooler still had the better speed feat, so that is why I would place him above Android 13 overall. Then again, you can argue that Android 13 is much
I'm about to say now.
stronger, regardless, due to Takao Koyama's statement that, prior to Broly at least, the villains had to be stronger than the last one, and more on Koyama's statement later. Alrighty, now we get to the big leagues. This is where the power scaling in the Dragon Ball Z movies undoubtedly escalate beyond what the mainline series villains presented within the same era. The Cell Games era includes 3 titanic powerhouses: the legendary Super Saiyan Broly, Hachiyak, the super tough mechanization fueled by the hatred against the Saiyans, and the space pirate Bojack. Let's begin with the weakest of the 3, who is very likely Bojack.
I can say Bojack gotta be, bro.
Yes, he appeared in a film after Broly, and going by Takao Koyama's statement, you could interpret that as him being stronger than Movie 8 Broly. And he did fight post-Cell Games characters, but I don't really find him impressive compared to the other 2, and here's why. Bojack and his pirate gang are stated by King Kai to have threatened to destroy galaxies long ago, but they don't really say like if it would be instant or like over time, but it would have likely been an over time thing and not straight up massive galaxy scale damage like with Broly, as I'll get later into. His power is also not that impressive given that somehow and unexplainably, the 4 Kais were able to come together and seal them into a planet.
I love Pycon, bro.
This could mean 2 things: that the Kais in this timeline are just cracked as or that Bojack was a pushover back in the day and maybe trained while he was imprisoned. Really, the only thing that he has going for him is that the guidebooks do say that he has an evil that can shake a galaxy or galaxies, but being able to shake galaxies, even if we take it at face value, is clearly not as impressive as having infinite power, as we have seen with Metacooler and Android 13. Then again, Bojack is not too shabby as he was able to take care of Trunks, Vegeta, and Piccolo. Eventually, all hope for the Earth seems lost as everyone gets their ass beat pretty much, except for Gohan, who was the last one standing. But even after Gohan got really angry and was, whooping some ass, he forced Bojack and his henchmen to basically gang up on him and
Yeah, so they pretty much jumped on though, man. So I'm like, well, it is what it is, though. You coming after my captain? We coming in. We coming in, bro. We running. We're coming in, bro. We smoking that pack tonight.
beat him down. And it is very likely that Gohan would have died if it wasn't for Goku giving the middle finger to the rules of the afterlife and teleporting to punch Bojack in the face. Granted, no one would have guessed that Goku would have done such a thing, but in my book anyways, Bojack being unable to react to instant transmission gives him slower reaction time than Metacooler on paper. Another reason I'd have him below Broly and Hachiyak is due to the fact that he never really had to fight multiple fighters at once since his minions were basically riding his ass the whole
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. But hey, yo, his squad. You know what I'm saying? He can't fight without his squad. He need his squad. Oh man, he cheat. He weak, bro. But I loved it though.
full fight, while Hachiyak and Broly both fought like 4 to 5 people at the same time. So yeah. I'd say that generally, due to Metacooler's speed and the aforementioned infinite power statements for him and Android 13,
Yeah, Bojack was dirty though. He played dirty.
they would
The
have
whole squad dirty.
more credence to being more powerful than Bojack. but I'll let you guys decide on that.
Yeah, BoJack was dirty, bro. They play dirty, bro. They play very dirty, bro. They gonna win by any means necessary, though. But let's get it.
Broly, a movie villain so popular that he not only appeared 3 times in the original Dragon Ball Z run, but he managed to emerge into canonization to face off against Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta.
Now I like this one when he on this one now, cause I think he was going like more the good side. Now I never liked when they made Broly like the villain, bro. I never liked that, bro. Like, come on, man. Make him as one of the good ones. Bro, like Broly, bro. And then he had a nice drill. Let's go.
Vegeta. Born with an overwhelming power
Come on, man. Look at the drill, bro. The dude was him.
level of 10,000,
He had Vegeta skin.
Broly was seen as being a potentially great asset to the Saiyans, but at the same time, King Vegeta believed that he would be too dangerous and powerful, and wouldn't you know, he was right. After surviving the destruction of planet Vegeta, he and his father Paragus would subjugate the cosmos for decades, until they would eventually enact their revenge on Prince Vegeta and the annoying-ass Kakarot. Even as a restricted Super Saiyan that was under mind control and basically heavily suppressed, Broly was able to destroy a massive portion of the South Galaxy, which is not a singular galaxy. Some of you that have seen this channel for a while and that know about Dragon Ball Z may already know this, but let me shock some of you here because the term South Galaxy actually refers to the south quadrant of galaxies in the universe, i.e., it is a massive cluster of galaxies. Broly didn't destroy all of it, but at the very least, that would grant a multi-solar system to galactic levels of power, which is very well beyond what the mainline series Cell was capable of. And the crazy part is, this restrained Broly wasn't able to push Goku into unleashing his own Super Saiyan form until he exploded with power and became the legendary Super Saiyan. A form so legendary that even the Super Saiyan of Legend, which wasn't really that crazy anymore, I mean like 4 people had it, was nothing in comparison. This is also one of the very few times that Vegeta acts.
Yeah, then when Vegeta, bro, that on his knees, bro, come on.
Like a little
For real, man. I'm like, bro, come on, boy. But Broly had that dude on his knees, bro. Come on, man. And yeah, you think Goku could have stopped him by himself? Come on, no sir.
Gives up and powers down before he even tries fighting back. One main reason as to why Broly is clearly superior to BoJack, apart from the aforementioned feat, is due to the fact that even before he acquired more power, due to his overflowing ki, he took on and slapped around 3 Super Saiyans, and even stood around with a eating grin on his face, while Goku and Piccolo—
Oh, that was disrespectful, man. The disrespect right there, man. Come on, man. And then, yeah, like that little smile, bro. And once again, the drip, bro. Oh, I love the drip.
pounded the hell out of him, all while receiving no damage or discomfort. At first glance, Broly may give the impression that he is a mindless idiot in battle, and slow due to his muscle mass, which comes with a similarly looking Super Saiyan Grade 3. But he manages to counterattack his opposite openings, even when surrounded by 3 opponents, and he even finesses the hell out of Piccolo, who is regarded as being one of the smartest mofos in the franchise, by forcing them to fly towards him, and responds by quickly changing direction to headbutt his charge, which stuns him and allows Broly to kick him away. So hey, Broly is not just a powerhouse, he actually knows how to fight.
Boy, he kicked the crap out of— oh my god. I'm like, bro, that was nasty when he kicked the mess out of Piccolo, man. Like, come on, man, the disrespect, for real. Ew.
For all of this power though, Broly did have one crazy weakness, being that his own body cannot maintain his overflowing energy for long, so he has to continuously release it to avoid exploding. Even after Goku, Trunks, and Gohan likely receive a Zenkai boost after being fed Senzu beans, Broly still slaps them around and makes quick work of Vegeta, with Goku being the last one standing. Legendary Super Saiyan Broly is such an overwhelming threat that it is stated numerous times that he would undoubtedly destroy the universe if he was not stopped then and there. Now this doesn't mean that he is like an universe buster and is gonna one-shot the universe, but given that even while restrained and mind-controlled, he wiped out a quadrant of galaxies, it is not far-fetched to say that given enough time, he would have been able to wipe out all of the matter in the infinite, endless universe, which is what Fat Boo and Kid Boo were capable of doing as well. Luckily, using the energy from his friends, Goku was able to muster up enough power to overwhelm Broly and land a critical hit on his abdomen, seemingly ending his quest for universal domination. Yeah, the plot demanded that
Yeah, lucky hit. Yeah, once again, the plot is very strong.
Goku won in some way, but as we have learned from the Genki Dama and the Lord Slug film, donating power to an ally or absorbing power from a planet grants the user a dramatic energy influx. So if Goku with the power of a weakened Piccolo was able to overwhelm a giant slug that was superior to Goku's Pseudo Super Saiyan state, just imagine the boost that he would have gotten from absorbing the power of 4 characters stronger than that. In fact, it is mentioned in guidebooks that Goku received a 1000 ki boost thanks to his friends and courage, which is not exclusive to the Broly film, but it does give us some explanation as to why Goku was able to clutch up so many battles, and this would infer that Goku got a 1000 times ki boost to wipe out Broly, which is really insane if you want to take it at face value. To further prove that Broly would be capable of such an universal destruction feat, the guidebooks mention several times that Broly had bottomless and infinite power. So even if we argued that Metacooler also has infinite power, Broly has more statements and better feats. Plus, being able to wipe out the universe within the short lifespan of a Saiyan in comparison to a Majin or a Frost Demon, Broly would logically have to be massively faster than light to perform the feat, and should logically have comparable if not greater speed than Metacooler, especially if he is able to wipe out everything in the infinite universe within his lifetime. Even if we argued that Metacooler has superior speed, Broly would still have the much greater attack potency and durability. So, although I can see arguments being made for Metacooler due to his greater stamina and better fighting techniques, arguably. Additionally, even if one was to reach and put Metacooler above Movie 8 Broly, it wouldn't matter since Broly has 2 stronger iterations as well. And another guidebook even further confirms that he was the most powerful warrior capable of destroying the South Galaxy. And hell, even after being fatally wounded, Broly managed to evade death, found a spaceship, and eventually crash landed on the Earth, where he would remain in a healing hibernation for about 7 years, which we will come back to. Yeah, that is right, Broly doesn't really rank here. This is only a specific ranking for Movie 8 Broly. Now, which character could possibly be above Movie 8 Broly? Well, that honor goes to Hachiyak from the OVA, the plan to eradicate the Saiyans. Although it was not released in theaters and it isn't really a movie, it was a supplement to the video game of the same name and was later re-released and touched up on as a supplement to one of the greatest Dragon Ball Z games of all time, Raging Blast 2. The remastered special and the original OVA do have some differences or omit some scenes entirely, but I will touch up on the general consensus that they showcase. Hachiyak was born as a result of Dr. Raichi, a Tuffle scientist who wanted to get revenge for the Saiyans, exterminating his people and taking over his home planet. The Tuffle android became fueled over the decades and grew stronger as a result of the hatred that other beings also had for the monkeys. One of his plans was to use the Death Strong gas, which diminishes ki control and would have killed off everything on Earth if it was not neutralized thanks to Goku, his friends, and especially Bulma. After destroying a lot of them, the last of the gas machines was being guarded by 4 ghost warriors, the manifestations of Turles, Frieza, Cooler, and Lord Slug. They not only proved in being more powerful than their original selves, but they could regenerate and became stronger after being defeated. But after the Z Fighters realized that they weren't real, they were solidly defeated. In order to defeat Hachiyak, the group made their way to the Dark Planet at the end of the universe, and after Dr. Raichi's ghost was defeated, his hate further amplified the Hachiyak computer to the point that it went beyond its limit and sprouted the real Hachiyak, who just by appearing seemed to have warped a galaxy, and King Kai stated that if he was allowed to roam free, he would have been able to lay waste to the universe. Hachiyak radiated such big energy that he rushed all 5 fighters and knocked them all away with one strike. His powerful revenge cannon knocked out Super Vegeta after enduring a final flash without injury, and by charging his energy for a few seconds, he was able to amplify his speed to the point that he blitzed Trunks and Gohan. After dominating them, Goku remarks that Hachiyak might be stronger than Broly, which is further backed up by King Kai's earlier statement that his ki was superior to anything he had ever felt before, even prior to him actively fighting or charging up his energy. He certainly had more power and durability than Broly, but he did have a critical weakness. that being that he is pretty defenseless and has openings whenever he is charging his energy, which Goku and his friends use to their advantage in the battle. And the Saiyans even got a Zenkai boost on top of it since they were given Sensu beans by Piccolo. But all in all, the Crimson Tuffle proved to be such an overwhelming threat that forced the fighters to fire their ultimate attacks to finish him off in one fell swoop. Given that movie age Broly is stated to have bottomless and infinite power, and Hachiyak is stronger than him, he would also scale from these statements and his speed to perform the aforementioned Universal Destruction feat. But unfortunately for the Crimson Saiyan Destructor, he is not quite on par with the later iterations of the legendary Super Saiyan. Alrighty, now we get to the final Dragon Ball Z movie villain, the notorious and gigantic Hirudegarn, who laid waste to the planet Konats and had to be sealed away into Tapion and his brother after being split into two parts by a mystical sword that was eventually passed down to Trunks. After Hoi, an ancient warlock, tricked the Z Fighters into releasing him, Hirudegarn laid waste to the city and beat the out of Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, Ultimate Gohan, Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, and even Super Saiyan 2 Goku himself once he unleashed his true winged form. At first glance, Hirudegarn might seem like the strongest out of all of the movie villains, given that he fought all of the post-Buu Saga Z Fighters at the same time, and finessed them thanks to his movement and ability to absorb ki from his victims. Unfortunately for the Big Goliath, he was utterly destroyed by the Golden Ki Dragon, the legendary Dragon Fist that was unleashed by Super Saiyan 3 Goku after he figured out his weakness, being that he couldn't turn into a phantom in the middle of attacking. Although the statement is no longer up, at least to my knowledge, and you can argue that it is no longer applicable, there was a statement back in the day on the Toei website that since Hirudegarn lost to Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Janemba slapped Super Saiyan 3 Goku, that this would put him in the number 2 spot amongst the movie villains. And I mean, the guidebooks do
Well, he ate that slap, though.
refer that he was like a threat to the universe, and the movie says so as well. But if you want to take Koyama's statement at heart that the later villain had to be stronger than the earlier ones, then Hirudegarn would be the strongest movie villain. However, there are much better things for Broly and Janemba, as I will prove later on. And unfortunately, there aren't any crazy statements for Hirudegarn, apart from being able to lay waste to the universe in an unspecified amount of time, which isn't that impressive given that other movie villains have had statements that they would destroy or would eventually conquer the universe. Really, the only reason I have him above the others really is due to the aforementioned statement. Without it though, I would have probably placed Hachiyak and Movie 8 Broly above him. Undoubtedly, the two strongest movie villains are for sure Broly and Janemba, and to be honest, I think they both have enough credence to be top dog. I'll discuss my reasoning for who I have over the other, but let's quickly go over the accolades for both characters. For one, once Broly came back in the Second Coming, and just unrestrained Super Saiyan, he was confirmed to be stronger than ever before, as he not only slapped the out of Super Saiyan Goten, Super Saiyan Trunks, and Videl, but he also gave Gohan a very tough fight and would have killed him if it wasn't for the final beam clash that Goku himself had to step into. Well, it is really unclear if Goku was truly there to begin with, or if it was just like a wish granted by the Dragon Balls, but it is implied in the guidebooks that Goku was indeed there to assist his sons with the father-son Kamehameha, which blasted Broly into the sun and killed him then and there. However, after some scientists got a hold of his blood, Broly was revived and enhanced through biomechanical means and became Bio Broly,
Yeah, see, I didn't like this one right here, man.
stronger and more dreadful than ever before, which is further confirmed by the guidebook and the DVD box. However, what ultimately hindered Bio Broly was the culture fluid goop or coom that engulfed him and made him susceptible to seawater, which was a major plot point for Goten, Trunks, and Krillin to being able to defeat him. I know it's hard to believe, but yes, even this aberration of a villain is stronger than Movie 10 Broly, because baseline, he is a revived Broly, further enhanced by biotechnology, so it would be quite illogical to say that this Broly is any weaker. You could argue that Movie 10 Broly, despite being weaker, would be superior to the culture fluid engulfed Bio Broly due to his greater speed, intellect, and experience. But if you want to be super technical, the Broly that we saw in the test tube would be undoubtedly the strongest iteration of Broly that we ever saw. Other stuff that would solidify Broly's top dog placement is that Koyama stated that he couldn't think of anyone stronger than Broly, which is why he had him appear 3 times, and on top of that, during a Battle of Gods interview, Koyama further ensured that he viewed Broly as the strongest, most scary villain, and that he was only surpassed by Beerus' appearance. Additionally, when other staff members talked about Broly, they always mentioned how intimidating and strong he was. In the second to last movie, Fusion Reborn, Janemba is born thanks to evil ki spilling out onto an ogre that was messing around on the job, and as soon as he appeared, he basically warped the entire afterlife and prevented King Yama from carrying out his duties, which in turn destabilized the mortal realm and the afterlife and allowed the dead to invade the earth. Fusion Reborn is a heated topic for one specific reason, given that narratively speaking, almost every previous villain had come back, as we have seen with Cooler Squadron, Bojack, Paragus, Garlic Jr.'s goons, Turles and Lord Slug's teams, and much more within the movie and the promotional material. With Paragus' existence, you can argue that Broly exists within this dimension, but even if he did, it wouldn't automatically mean it's the same exact one that appeared in the previous movies. Although something interesting to note is that at the end credits of movie 12, we do see a scene of movie 8 traveling through the cosmos, so you could infer at least that movie 8 is within this iteration, and maybe not movie 10 and 11, but I'll let you guys decide on that. I didn't want to, give my ultimatum on that. Janemba has insane accolades because in his base form alone, which surpassed Majin Buu's power, he was able to warp the entire afterlife passively, which is a higher dimensional realm, arguably making it a 4D, arguably a 5th dimensional feat if you want to incorporate a temporal dimension. This is insane given that the afterlife is several times larger than heaven, which is as wide as the infinite living universe, and to make Janemba's feats even more insane, he was able to keep up with Super Saiyan 2 Goku, who in base alone was able to cross from the afterlife to hell in a few moments, unironically giving Janemba high infinite speed, arguably then giving base Janemba greater speed than even Broly. However, due to his reality warping that allowed him to create miniature Gokus and dimensional warping, he pushed Goku into unleashing the afterlife-shaking power of Super Saiyan 3, who quickly made work of him with a devastating ki wave. Unfortunately, this demon would come back stronger than ever before and became Super Janemba, complete with teleportation, who even while suppressed, was able to make quick work of Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, which in turn forced the two Saiyans to fuse into Gogeta, who with his Stardust Breaker and a combination of fancy kicks, nullified his existence, ending the macroversal threat once and for all. Although Janemba does not really scale to Super Gogeta, it is worthy to mention that Gogeta was called the strongest, most unrivaled power to ever appear in the guidebooks, complete with unlimited infinite power as well. Given that Gogeta transformed into a Super Saiyan, this leads me to believe that Janemba was at least above base Gogeta and would still scale massively above Super Saiyan 3 Goku, making him at minimum over 400 times baseline infinite speed. In regards to fusion, Toriyama originally viewed Super Saiyans as being the strongest thing in the series, but was told that there would be no choice but to have them fuse to further escalate the power cliffing. So if you want to go through this line of thought, Broly, despite being overwhelmingly powerful in concept, would be weaker than two Super Saiyans fusioning. But then again, you could argue that Goku performed fusion in a way anyways with the Z Fighters in movie 8 to defeat Broly. It really depends on how you interpret it. To further solidify Janemba's top dog placement, the movie 12 Jump anime book mentions that Janemba was Goku's greatest opponent and that he had an unprecedented power, unprecedented being a synonym for unparalleled, unequal, or unrivaled, inferring that even as strong as Broly was, Janemba's power was without equal. It also mentions that Janemba was the most powerful warrior and enemy of Goku. Personally, I don't see the point in scaling Janemba to the other villains that appeared in the film, since he already has enough accolades that put him in conversation for being as strong as Broly, if not even stronger. Combine that with the aforementioned Toei statement that Janemba was the strongest movie villain, and I would have to say that although Broly has a strong argument for being number 1, I'd have to generally give the strongest movie villain spot to Janemba. Although you can argue that Broly is indeed the strongest of them all, going by Koyama's statement, he does admit that he might be biased towards his own creation. So in my point of view, I'd have to take the guidebooks as the main gateway to the most objective answer. So all in all, my order from strongest to weakest would be Janemba, Broly, Hirudegarn, Hachiyak, Metacooler, Android 13, Bojack, Cooler, Lord Slug, Garlic Jr., Turles, and then, in last place, Dr. Wheelo. Anyways, if you have made it this far, I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I wonder if you agreed with my conclusion or not. It really does depend on what information you accept, which is why it's certainly not as straightforward as one might think. I'd also like to give a huge thanks to the homie Zenkai, who helped with checking over translations, and the chat Cynthia, who got a hold of some scans for me. So please be sure to check out Zenkai's blog and other stuff in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you thotties next time. Peace out.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, now that was very interesting and fascinating. So, let me know if y'all want to see some more of this. So I'm interested too. So you already know. Link in the description below, like, comment, subscribe.